We have two short working group updates before our next presentation. And the first update is from me on the roadmap alignment group. So for those who don't know, the roadmap alignment group is different from all of our other community groups because participation is based on having a community leadership, volunteer community leadership title, like a product owner, tech lead. And we also welcome interest group representatives to join us. And then I'm always a part of that meeting. We meet every 2 weeks, either in Zoom or in Slack. Usually once a month, we have a meeting together in Zoom, and then the other meeting of the month will just work asynchronously on Slack. Um, this group has sort of two primary goals. One is to keep all of the community volunteer leaders connected, and that is helps us to have an aligned work across technologies. So we've been meeting and talking about aligning that work over the last couple of years, but now we're really ready to be able to create an actual cross-platform aligned roadmap. And that work is happening now. We had we called it a summit, where we started working on what this roadmap would actually look like. And this month, we are bringing it to community meetings across the Samvera community. So the first place it's going is the Samvera Partners meeting that is this week. And then it will be going to all of the interest groups. So Hyrax and Haiku interest groups, metadata interest group, which will be next month in June. Um, every other sort of relevant interest group can have discussion of this joint roadmap on their agenda. So part of what we'll be getting feedback on is the best way to present this information. Right now, we have it as a set of objectives, a list of actual initiatives, and those initiatives are on a timeline. We've collected these initiatives from the product owners and tech leads, from the interest groups, and then we are also including any work that is already planned and funded that is going to go back to community code. And this is a living document. It's going to be reviewed monthly by the roadmap alignment group and kept up to date. This is going to be a way for us to communicate when there are features or dependencies or other work that is really important to the community. We want to share when we'd like to get that done and use it to recruit folks to help us do it. And also to sort of indicate to the community when there's work being done funded by an institution. I'd like to get a certain integration in or a certain feature back into community code. We can communicate that as well. So here are sort of the objectives that we're seeing for the 2025-2026 roadmap. A big feature continues to be on accessibility and, of course, dependencies. But we also are really focused on ease of deployment for all platforms, performance, integrations, and finally new features, which is something we haven't really been able to focus on in a while. And now is the time across the platforms where we can really focus on that. It's just a screenshot of the work we've been doing to start organizing the initiatives and kind of when we expect to do them. We break the year into three parts to better align with how folks think about the academic year. That aligns best with how we usually have developer time allocated rather than quarterly. And we also expect to have, as part of this roadmap, a table where you can sort of look at what the initiatives are, when we're expected to start them, what platform is involved, and what objective they meet. So we will be sharing the final version of this roadmap, and it will have a wiki page in the Samvera Community Wiki. We're going to be looking for development sprint participation, and we'll have targeted sprints for different objectives. And you can expect a 2025 Samvera Community Technology Report to give a good overview of where we are with all of the technologies currently. And that is it from me. So I will stop sharing. If you have any questions for me, please put them into the chat. And I'm going to hand things off to Erin Griffith now.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm assuming we can all see my screen here, but I'm going to go ahead. So, my name's Erin Griffith. You get to hear from me back to back today, which is exciting for you, I promise. But I am first going to be giving a quick update on the Hyrax Fedora 6 working group. So, presentation is, just on behalf of everybody that is participating in that working group. So this working group was established by a group of cross-community stakeholders from both the Samvera and the Fedora communities who were interested in seeing, progress on Hyrax 5 backed by Fedora 6. So we wanted to work in tandem with the general community effort of obviously getting to Hyrax 5. But this working group was specifically focused on evaluating, documenting, and testing a Hyrax application that would use Fedora 6 through Valkyrie. So, we all, I think, can agree that getting out of active Fedora and off of Fedora 4 was going to be beneficial for everybody involved. So we kind of came together to pool our expertise and resources to see this effort through. So this is our charter, which has been modified once or twice since the inception of the working group, just to recognize the different work that we have accomplished. But the charter and the deliverables. So currently our focus is on the following. So we're looking at performance testing of Sirenia, which is a Hyrax application that uses Fedora 6 through Valkyrie. And then thinking about migration considerations and trying to compile lessons learned and some possible recommendations on best practices for those considering future migrations. These are the stakeholders and the working group members. You can see there's representation from both the Fedora and Samvera communities, which has been phenomenal to be able to work across both of our communities and bring these two groups together. So thank you everybody for the contributions and for the efforts. We have been at this for a longer than we anticipated, I think, but I think we're getting close to the end now, which is very exciting. So this is a brief overview of what has been accomplished to date to help achieve our deliverables. So obviously, like the working group isn't exactly responsible for all of these things, but this is forwarding the deliverables that we had set out for ourselves. And there was work done in the last year to get to the point of being able to say that these are the deliverables. So while this list looks like only 4 things, there was a lot that went on to getting there. So now we can, successfully say that there is a fully functional Sirenia application, which is available on a new Rax instance for community testing. So it's F6 new Rax. And you can have a look. I put the link in the slide deck there. I have linked the slides on the Samvera Virtual Connect wiki page, so you can grab this deck. But if you wanted to get in and have a poke around, I believe Daniel Pierce or Randall Floyd can get you credentials to go into the F6 new Rax application to see what it's all about. Fedora 6.5.1 was released from the Fedora side of things, which included support for encoded slashes, which was identified as a barrier for full Hyrax support. So that is now available. And then obviously the major one here is the release of Hyrax 5.1.0, which was a whole community effort driven by a large group of people. And I don't want to list names because I'm sure somebody will be forgotten, but just an absolutely huge accomplishment for everybody. So that is phenomenal to have available now. And then next up for us is one of our final deliverables, which is performance testing. So the working group is working through, we have our own set of identified test cases that we are looking at from institutions that are participating, but we're going to continue to work through our test matrix and hopefully share the results of our performance testing with the community once we're at the point of being able to do so. But in the meantime, we're launching a community-facing performance testing document, and we are going to be encouraging anybody that's interested in taking a look at it. So I plan to share out information about that either this week or early next week, so how you can get involved in that. But we have identified some test cases here, which we would like to gather your feedback on. And with the F6 new Rax available, it should be much easier for folks to get in and get their hands on it. So like I said, just keep your eyes open for the communication about what we're looking for and how to get access to that sheet. So that's the last phase. There will be a second phase of testing that will be community facing as well. That involves just putting more objects and seeing larger volumes of data in the instance. But that'll come out when it's ready. We're going to start with this and then move to phase two once we're ready for that. So. And then the final output will be to summarize everything that we've learned from the working group and share out a document with both communities for you to review, just to highlight what we've accomplished and what we have as a result. So that's my working group update.